Good morning. I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 40 years. I'm going through the text starting this year, reading a paragraph or two at a time and asking Jesus to clarify for me, and then I write from that clarity, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. So today we're looking at Principles of Miracles 38 and 39. The Holy Spirit is a mechanism of miracles. He recognizes both God's creations and your illusions. He separates the true from the false by his ability to perceive totally rather than selectively. My understanding of the Holy Spirit has shifted and changed over time, as has my understanding of my true self. Of course, my understanding or my misunderstanding, as the case may be, does not change reality. So in the end, it doesn't really matter. It seems helpful for me to know that the Holy Spirit is a voice for God that was placed in my mind to help me wake up. The Holy Spirit has a function that is especially useful to me in my sleeping state. He both perceives and knows. He understands how I think, and yet he knows the truth. He is the perfect answer to my quandary. When my mind gets tangled in ego thoughts, I call on the Holy Spirit to correct my perception. He brings my thinking into alignment with the truth, which is a miracle. I cannot do this myself because I work from within a closed system. I can only trade one perception for another. Within the dream, there is not knowledge, so I have nothing to which I can compare what I think and thus judge how closely my thoughts come to the truth. The Holy Spirit, on the other hand, works within the system, but also has the advantage of knowing what is outside the system. He can do for me what I am temporarily unable to do for myself. What the Holy Spirit is and how it works is of little concern to me, though of course I'm curious. I know that I can ask the Holy Spirit for correction, for help, for guidance, or for comfort, and I'm answered. I have a specific process I use that I know from my experience is effective in healing my mind. I know what to do and that it works. I have seen that I don't heal myself, and I've seen that I must desire the healing before it can take place. Through my willingness and the action of the Holy Spirit, I have experienced the miracle of a healed mind and the miraculous effects of a healed mind. What more do I need to know? So, Miracles Principle 39. The miracle dissolves error because the Holy Spirit identifies error as false or unreal. This is the same as saying that by perceiving light, darkness automatically disappears. Something came up for healing yesterday, and I reminded myself that it's not real. I understand now what this means. When the Holy Spirit heals my mind, he heals it of the untrue belief that I've been holding on to. It's like I hold up a belief and he tells me, no, that one's not real. Or yes, that belief is in alignment with creation, and so it's real. Here's something I wrote about. It happened some years ago when I was just learning these things. I brought the Holy Spirit a particular belief and he declared it unreal, but I didn't want to let it go. And yet I did want peace. Perhaps that sounds familiar to you. I told him, I know he is right, but it feels real to me. I feel anxious and sad when I think of the situation that represents the untrue belief. And those feelings are so strong and so upsetting. How could they not be real? I could feel fear at the idea of releasing this belief, and at the same time, fear that maybe this time I couldn't release it. The ego mind wanted to examine this and discover the source of the belief and make sense of the fear. This is the way the ego keeps the illusion going. It looks at the belief from every angle and makes up stories to explain the feelings and to fortify the belief, or it trades this belief for another false belief. I've played this game for too long to be fooled by it. I left it in the Holy Spirit's hands, knowing that he would find a way to help me see it differently. Just before I woke up this morning, I had a dream of which I remember only a little. I was saying to someone, you know who you are, but don't accept it. You just have to accept it. Then I told him that I didn't mean him specifically. I know who I am, but I must accept it. I thought I was I because it's my habit to always use I statements rather than suggesting I know what someone else knows or doesn't know, or what someone else should or shouldn't do. But on waking, I realized that the message was really about me this time. I lay there for a while talking to the Holy Spirit. I asked him again to heal my mind, and this time I truly meant it. I set aside all ego ideas and every meaning I had given the belief. I remembered that I want to be an empty shell, empty of all ego beliefs of separation. I wanted to be filled with truth. I knew my commitment to step aside and be led, to be led by him. I asked the Holy Spirit to teach me who I am. When I tried to understand my fear and tried to reason it away, I just became more embroiled in it. When I asked the Holy Spirit to look with me, he declared it unreal and it disappeared. It vanished. Truly, it was like turning the light on in a darkened room. Where did the darkness go? The first time I asked him to enlighten my mind, I wasn't quite ready for the light. It was as if I'd asked for light and then put my hand on his and said, don't turn it on yet. I want to relish his fear for a while yet. I want to shiver in the dark, pretending I'm in danger. I want to wallow in self-pity for poor little me who suffers so. I want to pretend for a while longer that I don't know what to do. I'm so very good at self-deception. I really convinced myself that it was all those things, only not quite. I can no longer believe myself. I knew I was doing this even while I felt the anxiety. I knew it. I knew that I was going to let it go, and part of me suffered until I did, and part of me just waited patiently for the end of it. What a strange place I find myself. Dreaming, I am dreaming, I suppose. It makes me laugh thinking about it. Thank you so much for joining me in this reading. If you enjoyed it, if you found it helpful, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with another reading.